Good morning, children. In previous class, we were discussing different types of friction, in which we discussed static friction and sliding friction. Now in today's class, we'll discuss rolling friction. What is rolling friction? When one body rolls over the surface of another body, the friction offered is called rolling friction. For example, suppose you are traveling to another city and you are carrying luggage around 30 kg. If you are unable to carry the bag, the only option is that you have to drag it on the floor. But still you require a lot of force to drag your bag. If you keep wheels to your bag, it will be easier to carry it around. Correct, children? Why is it easier to carry the bag when it has rollers under it? And what happened when we attach wheels at the bottom of the luggage? Very simple, children. Friction gets reduced to a great extent and bags moves on the floor easily. This type of friction which arises when an object is rolled on the surface is called rolling friction. It is a force associated with rotational movement. And always remember, children, rolling friction is lesser than the sliding friction, and sliding friction is lesser than the static friction. That means static friction always greater than the sliding friction, and sliding friction always offer more friction compared to rolling friction. Can you think more examples of rolling friction in your daily life, children? Yes, tires of your vehicles and ball bearing. Whoa, tires of your vehicles, how does it work? When the vehicle is in the motion on the ground applies the force of friction, which is nothing rolling friction on the tires. Now ball bearing. Small steel balls placed between rotating parts of machines as inside part moves with respect to the outside part. Ball starts rolling on the parts which reduces the friction in the machines. Clear, children? Now we are talking about reduces the friction. The substances which reduce friction are called lubricants, like oil, grease, sprinkling powder which we apply on the carom board, oil we apply to open the machine's parts and all such things when it is jammed. So such substances which reduces the frictions are called lubricants. Am I clear, children? Now next thing is that fluid friction. What is fluid friction? First of all, what is fluid? Fluid is nothing but liquids and gaseous items are called fluids. So friction offered by fluid like air, water is called fluid friction. For example, suppose when we drop an object from a particular height, it falls to the ground. Correct, children? That means air offers resistance here. What about water, children? What will happen when any objects move in water and in water? When the fish swim, they encounter resistance from the water. Correct, children? Now, factor influences the fluid friction. There are three factors. First is nature of the fluid, speed of the object, and shape of the. Which objects offer more resistance, the objects which travels in air or the objects which travels in water? Of course, children, the objects which travel in waters offer more resistance compared to air. More the thickness of the fluid, greater will be the friction force acting on the objects which moves through it. Or honey also offer more resistance compared to water. Am I clear, children? Now the next thing is speed of the objects. Another factor is speed with which the object is traveling. Higher the speed of the object moving through a fluid, greater will be the friction force acting on it. Example: a vehicle traveling at 100 km will faces more drag of air as compared to a similar vehicle traveling at 50 km per hour. Am I clear, children? Now the next is shape of the objects. Have you ever observed the shape of aeroplanes, children? Yes, it is like a bird. And did you observe fish in your life? Of course, in daily life you observe fishes. So they have given a streaming line shape to minimize the fluid friction. Now the thing is that what is streaming line? Suppose like imaginary lines which is like a sliding shape, that is nothing but you can say streaming line. Am I clear, children? Streaming line always minimizes the fluid friction. For example, car faces lesser friction from air as it has a streaming line streaming line shape, and bus faces more friction as it does not have streaming line. Suppose like bus shape is in rectangular shape and its front part is a straight line. That means it offer more friction compared to car offers streaming line. Its front mirror will be in this shape. That's why it offer lesser friction compared to buses. Am I clear, children? Now today's homework is chapter 2 page number 30. From application of concepts, write and learn the answer of question number 3 and 4. Am I clear, children?